Hi everyone, it's Bonita from Pennies to Dollars, and today I thought we would talk about how to stay cool during these triple digits that we're having and how to keep your electric bill low. I have 3 videos on how to save on electricity that I will link, but I also want to tell you some of the things that I have added this year, because even with all of those things in place, our electric bill was still continuing to go up. And I didn't understand why, but it's hotter than it's been in I don't know how long. So one of the things I've done is I've added like a quilt, or I've added a sheet over pieces of furniture that have leather or fabric. And that may not be the most beautiful thing to do, but it drops your temperature a bunch just to sit on something that is slick and cool to the touch versus something that's fuzzy or leathery or something like that. It makes a big difference. So try that if you're not expecting company, or if you have a beautiful quilt or something you want to put over the top, try that and see the difference. Also, our house has a lot of trees, a lot of insulation, and so I've started adding a window fan in the mornings. I used to not run one because I didn't want to waste the electricity, but with as hot as it gets in the afternoon, I've started adding a window fan in the mornings, and it makes a huge difference. But you really have to pay attention to when the sun comes over the peak into your house, depending on how many trees you have for insulation, depending on how much your sun beats into that window. Actually, my east window is the best one to put the window fan in the morning, and so I can leave it in there for a couple of hours before the sun actually peeks through enough that it starts feeling like hot air that's coming in instead of cold air, and then I pull it out. And then as the sun comes over the rise, I start closing windows as it affects my house. And again, this is based on how your house is situated. My east window will need to be closed, but my kitchen window won't need to be closed sometimes until after lunch or mid-afternoon. Same with my bathroom window. And then I do the same with the curtains. I use the natural light, but then as the sun comes down and it starts to be hot that's coming through, then I start closing all of those as well. We have solar bulbs that we use in the evenings, and I will link those down below. We use them in the kitchen, we use them on the back porch. We use 40-watt bulbs in our ceiling fan globes if we use them. Normally we don't turn them on at all unless we're cooking in the kitchen. Otherwise, we just use the solar bulbs. We have everything in the house on power strips, so that we can just shut off everything at once when we go to bed so that no phantom power is being used. And we have that with our kitchen appliances too, our microwave, our toaster oven, coffee pot. Nothing is plugged in unless it is actually being used. Even my dryer has the breaker shut off, because I generally do not use my dryer unless it's just been raining for days and we're starting to run out of underclothes or something. That would be the only reason that I would use my dryer. And I have my electric hot water heater also has the breaker shut off. It only takes about an hour or so for it to heat up enough for it to be good for another 24 to 36 hours for us to wash dishes by hand and take showers. And we don't need it on the rest of the time. And those are things that I've been doing for a while. I also use LED bulbs in all of my house appliance outlets. I don't buy them at like Walmart. I buy them at Dollar Tree. Actually, the LED bulbs are only $1, $1.25 at Dollar Tree, and they're a lot cheaper that way, and they do make a difference. I saw an immediate difference if you haven't done that already. We don't run overhead lights in our living room. We just use a lamp if we need it. So that's 1 bulb versus sometimes 3 if you have a fancy overhead light. And we have everything shut off in all of the rooms except for the rooms that we are in. We don't run any electricity. Nothing is plugged in any of the rooms unless somebody is actually in there. And we have window units. And so the window units, we run them when it gets hot and then we shut them off. And we run them for a little bit and then we shut them off. And I talked about this in the last video. Just running the window unit for 5 minutes will drop the whole house like 10 degrees. And with us being in a shaded area with a lot of trees and the curtains pulled, sometimes we won't need to turn it on again for another hour or so. So I can only imagine how much everybody's electricity costs if you're just running it all the time, 24 hours a day, even if no one is there. We only run it in the rooms that we are in. We run an air conditioner at night in our bedroom, but downstairs, nothing is on, nothing's turned on, nothing is cooling the house downstairs. And we open the windows again at night. And then when I get up in the morning, it's pleasant downstairs for a bunch of hours with that window fan, because we haven't been down here doing anything to make it hot, and it's been shaded and it's comfortable. And I work from home some of the days, so it works out really well. Now let me show you what I have outside. I wish I had more of these, but these are metal covers for my windows, and I have them on the west side of my house, and they make a big difference with the sun beating in. And they're old-fashioned. They were my grandparents. They came with this property, but they make a huge difference when it comes to the heat bearing in. So I don't know if something like that would be an option for you to keep the sun from bearing in. They do make little canopy type window coverings for houses nowadays. And also always want to check every year for any gaps or any leaks. You know when Dad always would say, were you born in a barn? Close the back door. Well, it's kind of the same philosophy, that if you have any gaps or leaks anywhere and any heat is getting in, it's going to make a huge difference on cooling your home. So I hope these were helpful to you. Let me know what you're doing to beat the heat, and I'll see you in the next video.